Alright, this is Ollie makes a questions and answers video take 2 because I just did almost the entire video, which was at least 10 minutes long, when I realised I'd done exactly the same thing as I did the other day when I was making one of my video challenge videos, and I hadn't pressed record properly. I've got hiccups, so excuse me. So now I'm probably going to rush through the answers a little bit more, unfortunately, because I've already answered them. Yeah, so I was basically just talking to myself for 10 minutes straight. Gosh, I am such a numpty. Anyway, I know I've been absent and I haven't been doing my video challenge videos, partly because where I was staying with my mum in her new house that she's just recently bought and is doing up, that there was no internet connection, so I kind of got off track with that. And then I just couldn't. The last couple of days I've just been inside all day, so I haven't really, like got dressed properly or anything, had taken a shower, so I haven't been doing them. I'll try and get back on track with that later. So, if anyone else, I might reblog this later and get more people to ask me stuff, and I'll make another video, but I think this is enough to be going on with for now. Okay, first person to ask me stuff was Sneverly, or S. Sneverly, or I don't know. If I know your real name and you've told me before, it says it on your blog. I can't find it and I can't remember, so I'm really sorry about that. Okay, first question. Describe the first fanfic you can remember reading. Okay, I've got a glass of water and I've got a bit of a sore throat, and this is photobombing. Tone of water. So I'll keep having to take a drink. Sorry about that. The first fanfic I read was for a manga and anime called Gravitation. Now I'm sure some of you will have read this. It's very, very silly shonen manga that for some reason I loved when I was about 14. I used to be really into all the shonen stuff, and I think it was because I'd never really seen gay relationships in fiction ever. In any form of media, really, and suddenly I realised there was an entire genre for them, so I was quite, it was quite novel for me, so I was really into that when I was younger. I think I just searched the names of the two main characters and was looking for fan art or something, and I found smutty fan fiction. Like, the first one I read was smutty. I think it was also mpreg, which is a really, really bad sort of induction. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with mpreg. Like, I know a lot of people think it's pretty much the scourge of fan fiction next to Mary Sue's, but I was really confused because I'd never heard of this concept before, so I was so confused. Yeah, so that was the first one I can remember reading. I think I was about 14. Describe the first fanfic you fell in love with. Hang on, drink. I think it was probably Harry Potter fanfic. I used to be a massive Potterhead when I was younger. It still is a fandom that I'm sort of into. It's just not one of my main fandoms anymore. I sometimes post stuff about it on Tumblr, but not very often. Yeah, I think it was a Rima Sirius one, and it was the first fanfic that I'd ever read that I thought was actually any good. Again, I was probably around the same age, around 14. So yeah, I can't really remember what actually happened in it though, other than that. I don't know. Out of all your ships, which is your favourite and why? Oh my goodness. I think all of my ships are flawless, obviously, or I wouldn't ship them. I have so many ships. I have like a small country's navy worth of ships. But I don't really have a favourite. What I said the last time I recorded this, didn't record it, shall I say. The one I said that I kind of count as my favourite is Mythros and Fingon. It's not because I like it more than others. In fact, I actually prefer Mythros Maglor to Mythros Fingon as a ship. But it's pretty much the only ship I have where when people don't ship it, I should sort of clarify that actually. When people who ship things that aren't canon but don't ship it, if that makes any sense at all, I get really confused, because I know that some people just don't ship anything that's non-canon, and that's their call, that's fine, whatever floats your boat. But, you know, people who do ship things, and like the Silmarillion, and don't ship Mythros Fingin, I'm always like, but there was so much to go on. I mean, compared to a lot of the other ships anyway, it's practically canon. And yeah, I don't really understand why people don't ship that, I guess. So I think it's not my favourite. There's something on screen. It's not really my favourite ship, it's just the one that I think is most plausible that's not canon. Okay. Next. I should say, go back a second, say that my favourite ship at the moment is probably Mythros and Maglor. I don't know if it's just because I like being, the odd one out, because everyone else ships Mythros and Fingin, I think, so more than that. Or maybe it's just because I relate more to Maglor and I really like role-playing him, and Mythros is probably my favourite character from the Silmarillion. I don't know. I just really, really like that ship. Okay. Hang on. Do I watch anime? Not anymore. As I've said, I used to watch Shin and I when I was younger, but I stopped when I was around 16. Since then I've watched some of the, I've forgotten what they're called, I'm having a moment. Like Howl's Moving Castle and those sorts of ones, like, what are they called? Oh, I don't know. But other than that, no. I don't watch anime. Okay, if you could donate $1 million to a charity, what would it be? This is again really hard, and one of the reasons is that I guess this is quite, this is my inner Marxist talking here, but I'm not the biggest fan of charities. And I say this as someone who has worked for two in their life as well. But basically, I think a lot of the time that people donate and they don't really know where their money has gone. I think a lot of it ends up in the pockets of the people who run the charity and not where it's actually supposed to be going. Or it's given to the government of another country and it's supposed to go on resources, but it actually just doesn't really get to the people. I know that's not the case for all charities by any means, but I think that there's definitely, if you just casually give to charities, like there's probably a chance that you don't really know where it's going. Another thing that I think's wrong with charities is that, it's been shown time and time again that statistically, poorer people actually give a bigger proportion of their wage to charities than rich people. So when you hear about, like celebrities giving £1 million or whatever to this person say dollars actually. Did you say dollars? You just say dollars. That's quite funny. I'm going off track then completely. If you hear about celebrities and millionaires and stuff donating money to charities, it seems like a lot, but compared to how much money they actually have, it's really not a big proportion. So I just have a lot of problems with charities in general. Like, it's basically stuff that the government should be running, they just try and push it onto charities to run instead, which I don't really think that that's on, to be honest. So there's not, if I was rich, I would probably set up my own charity just so I could ensure that it was being run properly. There isn't a particular charity that I'm closely affiliated with, so I'm not really sure which charity. It's quite a hard question. Were you a Harry Potter fan, and if so, which house would you be sorted into? Yes, I was a Harry Potter fan, as I've already said. I was a massive Potterhead when I was younger. Hang on. At the time that I actually first read the books, when I was about 9, I related really strongly to the Slytherins. Not because I saw myself as a bad person or anything, obviously nobody really sees themselves as a bad person, but because I just felt that they were sort of the underdog house. I think a lot of people feel this about Hufflepuff, and that's also true. You know, they do get a really bad reputation for being the stupid house, the house that, like, you know, takes the rest that, like, the other houses don't want. But I think it's probably even worse for Slytherins, because at least people still try, like the Gryffindors and Ravenclaws and stuff, do try and make friends with the Hufflepuffs. And Slytherins are really ostracised, and I always felt like this was quite a self-defeating cycle that they had going on in the story, which was where they blame the Slytherins for hating everyone in the other houses and being really insular, but they don't actually encourage them to integrate with the other houses, because they essentially encourage other people, like even the teachers seem to encourage the other houses to dislike Slytherin. You know, if you're told from the time you're 11 that you're bad because of the house you're put in, like, of course you're going to, like, distrust people who aren't Slytherin and, you know, be mean as a kind of backlash against that. I think they kind of create the Slytherins being horrible rather than the Slytherins actually being horrible. So yeah, I kind of related to them because I was quite like one of the more outcast sort of kids as well when I was younger, and I've always had that kind of like fascination towards like the darker aspects of life, I guess. So yeah, I always related more to the Slytherins. But since then, as I got older and I thought about it more, I actually realised I probably would have been sorted into Ravenclaw, because Slytherins, you know, most of them do have some kind of ambition, and I am the least ambitious person you will ever come across, most probably. As long as I have food on the table, as long as I can pay my rent, and I'm reasonably happy, that's fine. Like, I'm really not ambitious at all. So I kind of think now that I would have been one of those, like, Luna Lovegood type of Ravenclaws who are just more creative and live in their own little world, quite eccentric and a little bit of a loner. That's probably the kind of Ravenclaw I would have been. Yeah, I always thought that the reason I couldn't be a Ravenclaw was because I wasn't ever very, like... Oh, and the phone's ringing, great. My dad will get it. Hopefully. It's like a photo bomb, but it's a phone bomb. If someone wants to speak to me, I'm going to be really irritated. No, doesn't seem that way. Okay. I'm not making this again, I can't be bothered. Where was I? Yeah, houses. Yeah, I always thought that you had to be really academic and studious and hardworking to be a Ravenclaw, which is why I thought that I wouldn't be a Ravenclaw, but changed my view there about that. I don't think the whole of Ravenclaw House can be like super academic. Okay. Next question. Oh, that's it for Sneverly. I'm sorry, because I do actually talk to you and I should know your real name and I feel really bad.